Hello guys, welcome to this new video. So we'll see what are placement groups. Very important for your exam perspective and exams and your interview perspective also. So let's see what it is. So placement groups are used to control the placement strategies of EC2 instance. So let us suppose you have created a lot of EC2 instances. Now you need to see where we need to place it. Okay, because it is very important, because when there are single point of failures happen in your availability zone, then your EC2 and your business goes down. You need the availability, that this if my business wants high availability of my website, I want to distribute my instances to various kind of zones so that I cannot able to face problems and challenges in business. Okay, so there are three placement strategies: cluster, spread, and partitioning. Okay, and we were seeing deep dive into what are these placement groups. So first of all is clustering. So logical grouping of instance within a single availability zone is known as clustering. It provides low latency, high packet per second network performance for your placement groups. If the grouping fails, all the instances goes down. So let's see in detail. Okay, so let us suppose you have a EC2 instance, okay, and in a zone you want high availability. Okay, let me just draw a good example. Okay, let me just draw a big example. Okay, so this is a availability zone US East 1. Okay, okay, and you have EC2 instances. Okay, EC2 instances you have deployed in one availability zone. Now you have given a project which is known as machine learning project you have got. Okay, now you want to implement this project. Okay, so for that you want high communication between these EC2 instances. Okay, where there is a high communication needed, you know that we need to have low latency. Low latency means there should not be disturbance between these EC2 instances. They want highest package, means high result in few seconds. Let us suppose EC2 instance 1 is giving result A, which is helpful to do upcoming performance for to generate a result B. Okay, so we want first A result, and the result we want quickly. Okay, not latent. There should not be latency. Okay, so while doing the processing part in machine learning applications, okay, it is very critical that you need to have a low latency and high bandwidth. Like these instances needs to talk to each other first. So what we do in this clustering, what we do in a single availability zone, we have multiple instances which are doing high processing part, high availability we need in EC2 instances, not for our perspective. So let us suppose you have an example of Amazon. So so let us suppose one company come, which is known as HP. Okay, HP comes into your premises and he wants that I want those customers that are having that wants more 6 GB RAM and 512 GB hard disk or SSD, we can say. Okay, 12 GB RAM they want and 512 GB SSD. Okay, SSD. So how many customers we have so that we can do the production for the same. So with the big data, okay, with the big data, Amazon will give you the results to that company. Okay, and that Amazon will charge some amount per user. Okay, per customer it will charge $2 or $3, but it will give the results accurately. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, for a temporary basis, this is for temporary basis. Okay, just remember this point, temporary basis. So in your examination and your interviews will ask you that can you please show me a case study. Okay, so you can describe in this manner. Okay, I hope you get an idea. Now let's see. So here you can see, so logical grouping of instances within a single availability zone, low latency, where I'm emphasizing it more. Okay, if grouping fails, so there is a drawback that if this instance will go fail. Okay, let us suppose you are deploy this in Japan and there is tsunami happens in Japan. Okay, your whole server goes down. Okay, so you cannot reiterate that thing. So that is a drawback, that if one availability goes down, okay, whole of your process goes down, the whole business perspective, all the data that you have, all the machine learning algorithms that you have written, all goes down. So application having high processing power, okay, machine learning, for a temporary basis you can add, we want this placement group. Next is partitioning. Okay, so for partitioning I'll show you. Okay, so this is your clustering. Okay, so for partitioning what it happens, okay, what happens is, okay, let us suppose I'll take an example of partitioning. So let us suppose this is your availability zone, which is known as US East 1. Okay, and there is another availability zone which is known as, okay, US East 2. Okay, so you have the same EC2 instance. Okay, so they are in the same rack. Okay, EC2 instance. Okay, this is partition 1, this is partition 2, and these two partition are isolated between each availability zone. Okay, you can say this is in room 1, this is in room 2, the Almira you can say. And there is also EC2 instance here. Okay, EC2 instance here, EC2 instance here. Okay, okay, so this is also a partition 1 in this availability zone. Okay, so this is availability zone 1, this is availability zone 2. Okay, now what it is, okay, so you have that machine learning application. Now we want that machine learning application, okay, should not goes down. I don't want it on temporary basis. Okay, so in Amazon, at the back end, all your machine learning logics, your sentiment analysis, and in Facebook and Instagram, all your machine learning application high end processing goes in back end, and you see that no instances goes down while doing the processing part. So this machine learning logic you want always up and running. Okay, so in that case, this partitioning works. So all your instances in one rack, so that there is low latency in the particular partition, and you will give the results instantly. Another partition, you can give the result instantly. If suppose this partition 1 means this Almira will go down, whole application will down, but in that availability zone you have another partition available. Okay, and you can see if this full Tokyo tsunami happens, but we have another availability zone that is doing the high end processing. So I hope you get an idea like how the placement strategies work with the case studies. I hope I'm getting getting you the idea that how the things work and how we can able to generate more insights from this. Okay, so now let's see another partition placement group. Okay, so partitioning is done. So okay, one more thing for examples. So HDFS, HBase, Cassandra, Kafka, these are the big data processing, you can say that application that we want more. Okay, so the availability for them we need maximum. Now it is spread, very easy. So span across each availability zone. So you have EC2 instances like these, so they are spanning across each availability zone, and each EC2 instance is having its own hardware. Reduce the risk of simultaneous failure. Each EC2 instance plays on a distinct hardware. Just remember this, distinct hardware and across availability zone. So application that needs to maximum high availability, where each application should be in isolation. Okay, so machine critical application where you can say that we want like let me show you. Okay, so let us suppose this is an EC2 instance. Okay, you want a website, you don't want machine learning high-end processing. You want an application up and running no matter how much failures we have. So each hardware, you can say that this is hardware 1, hardware 2, and there is another EC2 instance at hardware 3. So you want that each EC2 instance is in different isolation, so that if this goes down, this should not be affected, and the availability zone might be same, okay, or might be different, doesn't matter, but condition is that it should not share the same hardware, means same almirah don't. In each almirah you have only one book, it means one server. In that way you can relate. Okay, where there is no high-end processing, you want your business should be up and running. Okay, if there is some high-end processing, so that partitioning is good for you. Okay, but if you want only availability, like I want the orders only from the customers, okay, I don't want to do the processing much, I want it to be up and running, EC2 instance. Okay, or you can say that you want your blog post up and running at different distributed systems. So in that way, in that case, you can see this is very helpful for you. Okay. Okay, so now let's see that in practical application how we can assign these placement group to EC2 instances. Okay, so I'm in this AWS account, so just click on this EC2 instance. Okay, if you don't find it, just type it here. Okay, okay, now what you need to do, just before launching it, let's define the placement groups. So you can see in the left hand side under network and security, you can see placement groups. Just click on this, and here you can see in the top right, create placement groups. So click on this and just type placement 1. Okay, so you can see placement 1. Let us suppose I want cluster, just create it. Okay, let's create another placement 2, and we give it spread, and in spread you have 2 levels, rack and host. So I get it by default. Okay, don't pay attention much in this, just we want it in no host. Okay, so another third placement group is partitioning. So in the partitioning, you can see how many partitions you should have in availability zone. 7 partitions. Okay, this is asked in the interview, like how much partition in the exams, how much partitioning per availability zone, max to max, how much. So 7 partitions. Okay, click on this. So we have 3 partitioning placement groups having. Okay, you can see. Okay, so now let's assign this placement groups to an instance. So for that I want to launch an instance, so click on this launching instance. Okay, and you can give name like test. Okay, and you know how to launch, I have already taught you. Okay, so go to advanced details. Okay, and go down, and you can see placement groups. You can see there is a placement groups. Okay, just you can see, you can also create if you don't know how, where it is, so you can also create it by clicking, and it is redirecting to that page where you have created. You can see these are the placement groups. Okay, so you can create it here. Okay, so let's come here and let's assign this EC2 instance. You can see that you can assign one of them. So let us suppose I want cluster, so I can select cluster. If I want spread, I can do spread. Partitioning, so you can see target what partitioning you want. Okay, let us suppose I want that instance should be in rack 1. That also I can do. So you can see that how you can do partitioning, how you can design your own EC2 instance. I hope you get an idea, guys. Okay, so we'll see you in the next. Happy learning.